Something blue, a mother's heart. Let love be real, not just in sound, but in the way our arms are round. She owes to good and turns from the wrong. Her strength is soft, her soul is strong. She walks in grace in robes of light, with something blue, her spirit bright. A quiet hue, yet deep and true, like skies that calm, like oceans do. Her joy is full when hearts are near. She gives with hands that wipe a tear. She opes true storms and still she stands, a prayer held firm in folded hands. Her table's warm, her door is wide. She makes a home where love can hide. In trials she blooms with patient pace, her fate wrapped tight in heaven's grace. That's something blue, it lives in her, a shade of peace that will endure. For every act, both small and grand, she loves with heart and an open hand. So honor her, this sacred role, the keeper of the family soul. In her, we see what love can do, a mother's heart in something blue.
Hi everyone, I'm Demi's mom.
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Demi and I'm here with my mom today. Today is her birthday and it's also just happened to be a annual launch of our new collection, which is the Dream collection. And today we'll be going over how she inspires me as my mother and also how she's been a role model for me as I enter into my entrepreneurial journey. So my first role model growing up, I would say, is my mom. She inspires me a lot. I think growing up, I see her as this strong, courageous, resilient, very caring, very loving. She might put a tough front, but deep down there's a soft heart. And she just inspires me a lot. And I remember growing up, I also looked up to her as an entrepreneur. I remember trying to branch into my own entrepreneur space behind her back. And I remember buying all these candies and sweets and biscuit from like a shop nearby at a wholesale rate. And I was like, I'm going to start selling all these candies. And I remember at the time we were living in a 1-bedroom apartment. So she found out, I don't know how she found out. Don't keep anything from an African mom because they're going to find out. But she did, and she was like, okay, you need to bring all the candies and everything that you plan on selling. So I brought it to her, and I remember she packed everything and she put it in our wardrobe. And my younger brother, or little brother at the time, anytime he was sad or something's going on with him, he would go to that wardrobe and start pointing at it. And I just knew that's one more candy that he's about to take that's not his. And I remember she would give it to him. And anytime we had guests around, when they're leaving, she'd be like, oh, we have candy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, money lost. Anyway, but yeah, so I remember at the time as well, she was selling stuff wholesale. She would sell sugar, salt, drinks to retailers as well. And she was very diligent with it, and that inspired me a lot. I would say a challenging time was, I remember at the time, there was this, she was pivoting into like another like she was basically trying to sell another merchandise other than what she was selling. And then at the time she bought like cartons of noodles at the time. And for some weird reason, there was this rumor going on that noodles was killing people. I don't want to mention the brand name. And I remember it was very, like you could just tell like she was, what was going on. And she wasn't, she was just discouraged at the time because she had just bought all these noodles that she was going to sell. And I remember when we would come back from school, we would ask her, Mommy, what are we eating? And she'd be like, noodles. And we're like, we were like, I heard this noodle is killing people. She was like, well, what I buy with my money is not going to kill my children, first of all. So that's what you guys are going to eat. And I remember, like, it got to a certain point, we didn't even ask anymore. We were just like, noodles is what we are eating. And it was very challenging at the time, but you could just tell that she was trying to stay afloat. And it also inspired me in a way where I saw that, in everything there will always be challenges. It just depends on how you treat it, how you come up with the plan to stay afloat whenever that challenge arises. And I'm so glad that we got through that, because if noodles could grow on people, we would have hair around us. As noodles, that's how much noodles we ate at the time. It was a very challenging time, but I'm glad we can laugh about it now. A superhero moment for me, I remember it was January 2001, and the Ikeja bomb blast, the Ikeja cantonment happened, and I remember it was a Sunday. It was a Sunday. We came back from church. We were getting ready for like school the next day, and we just heard this loud thundering. And we're like, what is going on? Like, why is somebody shaking the gate? And I remember we went outside and we're like, there's nothing going on. So where is this sound coming from? And then we heard another sound. And we're like, okay, we don't know what's going on. But I remember at the time, my mom was like, we got to leave. And I remember there was a lot of buses. There was a lot of buses driving around our area that were like, come in, it's the end of the world. Like the end of the world is happening, come in and enter the bus. And thinking about it now, I'm just like, where was those buses driving to? Because if it's the end of the world, where are we going? And I remember my mom was like, we gotta go. And she raised me and my cousin. And I remember asking her, I was like, Mommy, where are we going? She was like, I don't know, but we gotta go. And we just kept going. And I didn't even know my mom could walk that much. I've never seen her walk that much. I've never seen her walk that much, but we walked, boy. We walked from Pedro all the way to Shomolu. Apata.
Pedro Bariga side to Shomolu.
Yep, we walked all the way from, and just, like 2 different cities. And I remember when we got to Akpata was when we found out what was actually going on. And this is not even funny, because a lot of people died on this day. And most of the people that died, it wasn't because of the actual bomb blast. It was because they died out of fear, because everyone was just running for their lives. So I pray God bless their soul. But yeah, that was a very superhero moment for me, because, I mean, we could have simply been a victim, and I'm glad she was there to kind of direct us to where we were going to go, and just till everything dies down. There's a lot of advice. I think one of them, I would say, prayer is key. My mom is a woman of faith, so her biggest strength is prayer. And that was one thing she instilled in us growing up. Another advice I would say is, a secret is a secret until you open your mouth. So whatever you don't want another ear to know, don't just open your mouth and say it, because once you say it, it's out there. Another advice, she has given me a lot of advice, but those are the 2 that definitely sticks out. A confession. A confession I've always wanted to tell you is, I'm sorry, but I used to take Tumishi's formula back in the day. I know you know, because when you open the formula, you'd be like, how many babies are in this house? I know, you'd be like, how many babies are in this house? And I'm sorry, because I didn't know how much formula used to cost back then, but I hope you forgive me. Happy birthday!
Bídèmí, wọ́n ti fi surprise ṣe ẹ́. Kí ló dé?
Happy birthday!
Ṣé mi fẹ́?
Again. You're not gonna mess up your makeup.
Èyí wà lẹ́nu òsín kan lẹ́sìn owó sínú òkè. A rò pé Nàìjíríà nìkan náà ti ń ṣe ni. Ní ìmọ̀ pọ́n ṣe ń bì. Ó ga o. Bídèmí o ṣé o. Mi ní wá ètì o. Agbára Ọlọ́run báyìí. Iṣẹ́ yẹn ò ní díṣẹ́. Lágbára Ọlọ́run báyìí. Ọlọ́run ò ní ṣọmọ ìlẹ́yọ̀kan lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. Ó máa jèrè ọmọ ẹ̀. Ìwà àtọkọ ẹ̀ báyìí ẹjọ́ máa jọ lájọṣepẹ́. Ọ̀tá èṣù bí ènìyàn bí èṣù báyìí kò ní yà ẹ̀. Kò ní yàwó àtọkọ ẹ̀. Àṣírí yín bá a máa bò. Ò ní rí ìdààmú lẹ́nu ibi iṣẹ́ yẹn. Ẹni títí ẹ̀ ti jóná báyìí kò ní koná mọ́ tiẹ̀. Ṣó o rí òwò tó ń ṣe yẹn? Ló agbára Ọlọ́run asọ́di ńlá. Ibi gíga báyìí náà máa ti máa gbọ́rò. Ní all over the world náà máa ti máa gbúrò ẹ̀. Ó dẹ̀ máa tà. Ó máa jèrè. Ó ní báláyé fọwọ́ tì. Ó ní gbẹ́jọ́kò jẹ wọn ọwọ́ ẹ̀ tán. Ojú ẹ̀ ò ní fọ́. Ó ní yarọ. Gbogbo wàhálà ẹ̀ nílùú Amẹ́ríkà ọwọ́ ẹ̀ báyìí ló máa fi gbà. Nígbà tó bá ń gbà báyìí inú àlàáfíà àìkú baálé ọ̀rọ̀ àtiwọ́ àtàwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ àti ọkọ ẹ̀ ẹjọ́ lájọṣe pẹ́pẹ́pẹ́. Ṣó wá ráwọn àbúrò ẹ̀yìn Ọlọ́run ti fi ẹ́ ṣe olórí ò ní dèrò ẹ̀yìn. Ṣó wá rí bàbá yín lágbára Ọlọ́run gbogbo lílọ bíbẹ̀ báyìí Ọlọ́run máa ṣọkò ní bọ́ sọ́wọ́ ọ̀tá. Apá ọ̀tá ò ní ká agbára Ọlọ́run. O ṣé ìyá mi o ṣé mo wá fi ṣètò ṣé gan.
I just wanted to let you know, I know as I transition into a different stage in my life, it may seem as if you're on the back burner, but I wanted to let you know that you will always be a priority in my life. I love you. And you're my something, babe.
Again.
She said she doesn't want to cry. Kilode, it's part of it. It's tears of joy.
I know. Thank you.